Hi everyone, this is Taryn with Wonderfully Made Handcrafting. I'm going to go through and show you my tag ring that I created this month for By the Well for God's 25 Gifts of Love Advent Study. I created a tag for every day of the study, and then on top of that I added some chunk and flair to the tag ring itself. I had a number of people ask me if I would do a flip through of this tag ring after the study, so let's go through it. After my title tag, I decided I would add in the snow globe that I created with my fuse tool. It was just a little something extra to add in. Day 1's tag is made with digital papers from By the Well for God. They included these cute postcards, and then I just added stuff on the back. Day 2 was also digital papers, which included these cute row houses, and I added some grit paste and some glitter just to add snow on the tops of those roofs. This Day 3 tag was made with some packaging from By the Well for God. I didn't want to throw it out, so I reused it with some holographic embossing glitter. And then I used some Tim Holtz sprays to create this fun look. And as you see here, I used a cut file from Paige Evans, and I used it right on the bottom corner here, and then on also the back side. And I backed those light bulbs up with some By the Well for God paper, and then used glossy accents on top to get that glossy fun look for the light bulbs. This next one is a prayer pocket. And what's really cool is By the Well for God released a stamp that was a pocket, and it has a little tag that says prayer down on the bottom. And so I stamped it with StazOn on fabric and then sewed it together and added a little bit of paper to get that sturdiness. And then I just added my prayers to a little tag on the inside. Day 5, I decided to take a little bit simpler approach. And so I just used some die cuts and some stencils in the background. And to add a little bit more texture, I added those buttons. On the back side, I decided to do a hand stitch around. It makes for a fun little look. Day 6, I have a day tag, and then I also have my main tag for the day, and that is this fox tag. I loved this stamp set from By the Well, and so I added it and used some grit paste again and some glitter, so you'll definitely see that going around here a lot. On the back side, I continued that fox theme, and I just colored it in with some Distress Oxides used as watercolors. Day 7, I call my bobblehead deer. I ended up just taking 2 different stamps from By the Well. One was the deer head and one was the body, and I just merged them together and then just put foam adhesive on the back side of that head to pop it up. And on the back side, I kept it really simple with just the verse and the day. This deer stamp paper actually had the verse for day 8, so I decided to make it a tag, punching a hole in it, and then just adding some fringe on the bottom. So day 8 was pretty simple. I just stamped this bear image and colored it in with some Distress Oxides used as watercolors. And then for the background of this tag, I ended up just using the paper found in the back of the hymn book. I really wanted to add more of these Gigi girls in, and I wanted the whole girl. So I made her a tag, and I just made sure she was really sturdy with some extra heavy-duty cardstock. Day 9, we talk about how God pursues us, and so I used these mittens and just used some embroidery floss to hold them together like it was a real string. Day 10, I want to use another Gigi girl, so I grabbed this big tag from Tim Holtz and then just added some light strands and then typed out my verse on the back with my typewriter. This tag was a fun one because I loved the bright colors, and I also used some Shrinky Dinks to make a little charm for it. On day 12, I really wanted to use those spray stains again, so I took this calendar that was released in November from By the Well and just circled the number 12 on it and just used those spray stains for fun. I also love this little bonus stamp with a fox with the mistletoe, so I ended up using that and then just using some white Nuvo drops to make snow. On day 13 was my gingerbread tag, and that was really special to me because I always grew up doing gingerbread houses and gingerbread men with my dad. And so I made this little tag for the day, and how I got those frosting lines was just Nuvo drops. Besides the tree did have some texture paste on it to create that frosting look. Day 14 is another one with those digital postcards, and I just added some vellum to my verse and some hymn book paper in the background. On day 14, I messed up a little bit on my days, and so I had to add some arithmetic to the right hand corner of the tag, but it ended up turning out really cute. And then I also cut off a Gigi's Santa hat and added a bow instead, and used some stenciling on the background from By the Well for God, and used that tag clippy fabric to add a little flair to the side of this tag. This day tag was a fun one too, so I just used this coffee mug stamp from By the Well, and I covered up the part that said "But First Jesus" on it, and just replaced that with the number 16 and added some texture paste with glitter and some glossy accents to make that fun clear look. This was the second half of day 16, so I kept it pretty simple with just some fabric, Nuvo drops, and some holographic embossing powder through the stencil. Day 17, I used one of the postcards that you could purchase with the kit, and so I just added some sequins and Nuvo drops to finish that look. Day 18 was one of my favorites. I created this snow look again with grit paste and glitter, and then made some of my own ephemera and used some from Tim Holtz in a hymn book. This sled originally said "Let It Snow," but I covered it up before I stamped so I wouldn't see it, and added a wood grain look with a stencil. On the back side, I used gold embossing powder from a background stamp from By the Well for God and added a little bit more of that snow look again. Day 19, I used this acetate piece and also the card behind it from Snow and Cocoa, which is a collection from Crate Paper, and it matched perfectly with By the Well for God's kit. On day 20, we talk about Dimitri's song and his story, so I ended up using hymn book paper in the background of this tag to show that it was talking about his song. Day 21, I grab out my spray stains again, and I also grab a cut file from Paige Evans, add some glossy accents to the stars, and call it a day. Day 22, I was packing to come up north to visit family, so I kept it simple. I just stamped out this date and embossed it with some clear embossing over black, and then just used this digital paper and added some pom-pom trim to the bottom. Day 23 is my vintage girly looking tag, and I really like it. I used a floral stamp from By the Well and also used some of that plaid paper that you could add to the kit. And I just dirtied it up with a little Distress Oxide, and I love it. We're coming up to the end, so I just added a little bit more chunk with another day number tag. Just used some spray stain and Distress Oxides for that tag. And then this one, I used the embossing folders through my Big Shot to create that bumpy look, and some glossy accents on these stamps from last year's By the Well for God Christmas study. On this last tag, I used the row house stamp again and kind of used a bunch of techniques I used throughout the rest of my tag ring, but I thought it was a good way to finish off. And then on the back side, I wanted to conclude with the same paper that I started with, so I ended up using that striped paper again, and then I add a little bit of chunk with some fabric and the day number on some foam adhesive. If you've enjoyed watching this flip through video, I really hope you like and subscribe to my channel, and go ahead and follow me over on Instagram at Wonderfully Made Handcrafting. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas. God bless.